This is Denise Linn, and welcome to our Clutter Clearing Challenge. I am so honored to have this time with you. I'm so honored to be on the journey with you. And I am so excited about what we are going to be co creating together. This is the power of ceremony. This is the power of alchemy. And this is the power of this journey that we are embarking on together. I want to talk a little bit about the power of clutter clearing. It is not just having a neater home. In no small way, every single object in your home influences your energy. Some things uplift your energy, enhance your energy. The I don't know, the vase that your first love gave you. Every time you pass that vase, there's this sense of love and being celebrated and enjoyed, potentially. The drawing that your child did when they were 3, and every time you walk by that, subconsciously, you might not consciously be aware of it, but it activates that feeling of, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Does that make sense? But everything in our home affects our energy. There are strands of energy, filaments, sometimes there are ropes of energy that connect us to everything in our home. And sometimes that energy is empowering and sometimes it's depleting. What comes to mind as I'm talking to you is many years ago, I had a client call me, and this is when I had private clients, and he told me that he was going to commit suicide. Now, I've had people call me before saying they're going to commit suicide, and almost always I knew it was a cry for help. It's a you really need to pay attention, but I knew that it wasn't a serious, you know, someone who was seriously going to do it. They just were having a hard time. But this guy, I knew him, and I knew he meant it, and he was just calling to say goodbye. And on the phone, I said, "Tell me about your drawers." And he's like, "What? Tell me about your drawers?" I said, "Tell me about your drawers." And it was that thought just came into my head. And he goes, "Well, they're messy. Why?" And I said, and I knew he was far away, so I knew I couldn't get there in time if he was going to follow through on the suicide. So I knew it was going to take me a while to get there. I said, "I am coming over to your house." And I asked him about a particular drawer. And I said, "And when I get there, that drawer has to be absolutely clutter clear." And he's like, "What?" And I said, "Now you do it now." I got really like my mama bear. Ugh. So when I got to his house, I knocked on the door and I opened the door and his face was white. And he goes, "What did you do?" And I said, "Did you get that drawer cleared?" And he goes, "I did." But amazingly, as I was clearing the drawer, I felt better and better. Something was shifting inside of me. For as he was creating clarity in that one drawer, it had a powerful positive effect on his inner life. And he began to step into clarity. And as far as I know, he's still around. And he often, when over the years, when I'd run into him, he goes, "Do you remember that time you told me to clear my drawer?" He goes, "It changed my life." That is the power of clutter clearing, even if you don't expect it. When I was going through the letters of people who did the challenge with me before, over and over again, people said, "I didn't expect that my life could change in 7 days. I didn't expect that just moving a few things around in my house could make a difference." But it did. So even if, and I've got a pretty active mind, a pretty skeptical mind, even if your mind's like mine, this is like, it can't possibly make a difference. It's not going to work for me. I want you to do me a favor and go, "Thank you, mind. I got it. I understand your point of view, and I'm going to get results." Hold your intent on results and don't equate results with time. Don't think you have to put in a whole lot of time to get results. If you think you have to put in a whole lot of time to get results, you will have to put a whole lot of time in to get results. Hold the intent that no matter what you do, powerful, profound results are going to occur in your life. So before you start the clutter clearing, I'm going to suggest that you take a moment to get clear. Why do you want to clutter clear? And how will your life be different? What results will you have in your life if there's more clarity in your home, more clarity in your heart, more clarity in your mind? Because we do all kinds of levels of clutter clearing. How will your life be different? How would you like your life to be different? Having a clear vision of where you're going will empower every single thing you do with the clutter clearing. So I want to talk about kind of what clutter is and why you have it. Um, Clutter is an accumulation of things that you don't need and they you don't love. And if you've got a whole bunch of stuff in your home that you don't love and you don't use, chances are you have a whole bunch of clutter. And it's interesting to see where that clutter is. What kind of clutter? Is it clutter up high, clutter down low? Is it clutter from the past? Is it clutter from ex relationships? We'll be going into that. So, why do people keep clutter? Why do you have clutter? For some people, it's security, it's a cushion against pain. Now, I lived with my grandparents for a few years growing up. My grandparents had been through the Great Depression was that in the 40s or 30s? And they had, my grandmother remembers not having enough to eat. So my grandmother, not only was she a really big woman, she had food stockpiled everywhere. You'd open any cupboard, any drawer at that home, and it was stockpiled with food. Well, if you went through a period in your life when you didn't have enough to eat and you had this subconscious fear that there might not be enough in the future, that would make sense. There's this idea of I need security. It will give me security. For some people, it's emotional security. Some people have been hurt emotionally. And so not only do they pack weight onto their body, they pack weight in their home. We connect and we associate and we identify with our home. So for some people, it's a cushion against life. And it's okay. Sometimes we need those cushions, but sometimes the thickness and the depth of the cushion is clogging other areas of our life. Some people, it's just simply out of habit or it's a family habit. My family's always had clutter. I've always had clutter. It's just who I am. And again, it could be part of your identity. I am the kind of person who has clutter. And there's the most compelling force of a human being is the need to be congruent with one's identity, to be in alignment with one's identity. This is who I am. But you have to take a look. Is that identity an identity that serves you? Or does it deplete you? So we'll be examining those kind of issues. Does this identity serve you? Yeah, well, it's just habit. Okay, you can keep it. But if you are really willing and ready to step into a new cycle, if you are really ready for new vitality and new energy, you might consider shifting your identity a bit or shifting that habit. Um, One of the biggest reasons that people have clutter is fear of the future. I haven't needed it now, but I might need it in the future. Are you like that? I can find a lot of clutter that's like, well, I haven't worn it, I haven't needed it, but I might in the future. Do you have that? Now, here's the thing. That is a negative affirmation. It's a negative affirmation for the future. What you're saying is, I have enough now, I am enough now, but in the future, I might not have enough. I might not be enough, so I have to keep it in case I am not enough in the future. You are affirming lack for the future. You are making an affirmation of, I will not have enough. I will not be enough. And if that's why you're keeping the clutter, guess what? You create what you intend. Like I have enough now, but in the future, I probably won't, or I might not. You are actually creating lack in the future. Do you want to do that? No, you don't want to affirm lack. You want to affirm abundance and fullness and fulfillment. So if that's why you're keeping the clutter, it's something to think about. What about, this is a big one for me, evidence junk. So I came up with that word because it's like, it's evidence that, I don't know, I was strong enough, good enough, fast enough. I used to be a runner in high school, so I had boxes and boxes of my ribbons. I never looked at them. I thought, why am I keeping this? Well, it's evidence that I was once a great runner. And I thought at one point, well, all these boxes, I'd never looked at them. They were there. Do I actually need evidence that I was a runner? Who am I trying to prove that to? And I'm like, actually, I don't. I remember one time I had boxes. In fact, they filled my attic. This is when people wrote before the internet, and they would write letters about the value they got from my seminars and my books. And I would keep all these letters. I would write back to everybody. I did, every single person I wrote back. And then I had boxes in the attic. I never looked at them. And David, when my husband said, well, what are all those boxes? Well, those are people that, that liked my seminars. Do you ever look at them? No. Why do you keep them? Well, and I realized I was keeping them because if ever in the future I thought I wasn't enough, I could prove to myself I was enough. And I thought, what's with that? Boxes in the attic that I never look at. Really? Is that going to be where I get my sense of self-esteem, or is it from something inside of me? It was evidence junk. And I've had lots of awards in my life and I was keeping them. And someone said, why are you keeping them? It's evidence. Finally, I thought, you know what? If I really need to keep the evidence, I'll take photographs of them and I'll make an album, which is actually a really good idea. In clutter clearing, and we'll be talking more about this too, is if you have things that someone gave to you, it's meaningful, you love it, it is something you really love, but you just have too much stuff, take a photograph of it, write up a little story about it, put it in an album, and you can have an album filled with your special things, but you don't have to keep the special things. Keep the memories, but get rid of the stuff. So if your stuff is evidence junk, you can take pictures of the evidence that you were good enough, smart enough, young enough, whatever is enough, and make an album if you need it. I actually had an album. I labeled it evidence, evidence junk. And eventually I got rid of my evidence junk albums. But that is another reason why people keep clutter. Sometimes clutter can be unfulfilled dreams. The ice skate because you wanted to be the kind of person that ice skates, but you've never used them. Or this is really embarrassing. I can't even believe it's coming to tell you that, but I will. I used to feel like I really need to exercise. So I would go out, and this is, before the internet, I would go out as soon as I felt like I really have to exercise, and I would drive to a store and I would buy an exercise video. Now, I didn't watch those exercise videos. I had a whole closet full of exercise videos. The angst about not exercising, which is, it's all better now. But it was like, I wanted to be the kind of person that exercised to an exercise video, but I wasn't. Clutter was kind of unfulfilled dreams. I finally, it was so relieved, it was such a release to get rid of all that. Books. I'm dyslexic. I have a really hard time reading. But I had one full room full of books I'd never read, but I wanted to be the kind of person that read. And I think what deeper under that is I wanted to be the kind of person who had that wisdom. Does that make sense? So I have wisdom. Yeah, I carry all this wisdom. And I had to sit down with myself and say, Denise, you don't need books to be wise. You can find wisdom inside of yourself. And that was a big day, getting rid of thousands and thousands of books. What was it? Unfulfilled dreams. Here's another one. How about responsible? You have to take care of it. It's been in the family. Are you the person in the family that everyone gives all the family stuff? They don't want it, but they don't want it to be gone. So you are the repository for this stuff. I've heard this a lot. It is not your responsibility. You do not need to spend time cleaning, taking care, storing, displaying it. If it doesn't give you joy, you do not, and I'm just giving you permission, you don't need to keep it. You can let it go. Literally, you can let it go. And you might, I can't let it go. My family will be mad at me. Well, then you say, how about you keep it at your house? Then if it means that much to you, But that is another reason why people keep stuff. Some people are, they're like servants of their stuff. Okay. I'm really telling a lot about myself here. And I've gotten so much better at all these areas, but when I would have something I was going to give away, I wanted to make sure it was going to a good home. And I wanted to make sure people appreciated it. So I'd tell them the whole story and tell them how to take care of it. And one day I thought, you know what? If I give something to someone, it is theirs. It is theirs to do with whatever they want. But I want to make sure it had a good home. And you don't need to make sure your stuff has a good home. Everything evolves. Stuff evolves. There's no death, only change. So maybe it doesn't go to the highest energy, but everything has an evolution. Everything has consciousness. Everything dies, and everything's reborn. So you when you let it go, really let it go, and don't do this thing where I gave you that object. Where is it? I don't see it up. Have you done that? Or maybe you've had people do that to you. I gave you this last 2 Christmas ago. Where is it? If someone gives you something, you do not need to keep it. You do not need to keep it. If it makes you feel good, you love it, keep it. But otherwise, if it doesn't, pass it on. Find a better home for it. I know people that it's like, oh my God, Aunt Mabel might drop by. Like I'll say, tell me about that penny. Well, I don't really like it. Why is it up there? Well, Aunt Mabel gave it to me. And if she comes over and sees it's not up, she'll be upset. Really? So on the rare event that she comes over, you're going to have something in your home that diminishes your energy every single day. I'm going to go gulp. So, and it's not easy. I know, because maybe you don't want to hurt Aunt Mabel's feelings or whatever that dynamic is. But these are the kind of discussions to have with yourself, because I'm going to suggest that you are a spiritual being. You are on a spiritual mission, and that your mission is to find clarity, to find more love, more joy, more expansive energy in your life, and to carry that forward into the world. How can you do that if you have all these blockages and limitations and barriers and your energy field is clogged with stuff? To find that clarity, be willing to take a look, to examine that stuff. Okay, other reasons people have stuff, sentimental reasons that I said, okay, you've got sentimental reasons. You can make a little book. You can be the sentimental stuff. You don't have to keep the stuff, keep the memories. How about fear that they will not be liked or respected without it? Well, you keep it because people will respect you if you have it. And if you really need other people's respect, and the only way you're going to get their respect is to have that stuff, keep it. I'm not saying you need to get rid of it, but sometimes you need to look, is it more important to have something that clogs your energy, hoping that people will respect you? Or is it more important to have a sense of self-respect for choosing an environment that is going to serve and support you? Okay, it might be worth something someday. Oh my gosh, I've worked with so many people who had stuff that it might be worth something someday. Remember Beanie Babies? Okay, some stuff, it is worth something sometime, but a lot of stuff isn't. And is it worth the storage, the time, the energy to keep it for the event? It might be worth something. And if it's because it might be worth something. Okay. Did you know 1 in 11 Americans, 1 in 11 Americans has a storage unit? 1 in 11 Americans has a storage unit. That is a lot of people spending billions, not millions, billions and billions of dollars. We are in a supersized society. We have supersized in the West, we have supersized houses, and yet we have so much stuff the houses can't store it, so they have to go in storage units. I talked to a woman once who had 8 storage units, and I said, well, do you go hang out with your stuff? Do you play with your stuff? Do you enjoy your stuff? No. So when was the last time you visited your stuff? Well, she never visited. She just keeps putting their stuff away. And you would think, well, that was just a fluke. I have met so many people that have more than one storage unit. It's not bad. It's only bad if it's clogging your energy. And if it's clogging your energy, it's bad for you. There is nothing wrong with having a lot of stuff. I knew a man who was a mystic. He was a true mystic. And there are people who can do magic. He could do full body transfer. What does that mean? He could take his body from here to there. He was kind of like a yogi. And his house was cluttered. And it kind of wobbled my mind. I thought, how can this man who is so mystical and so magical And he really was. There are people, there's not just in storybooks or some, high mountain in India. There are people who have mystical abilities. I met a man once who he could manifest sacred oils in his hands. I'm such a skeptic. I had him roll his arm up. I wanted to check and make sure there weren't any tubes. And he would just laugh at me, took his shirt off, put his hands out, and these fragrant oils would appear in his hands. There are people who are magical. So here's this magical man, and his house is cluttered. And I'm thinking, how does this work? But I realized he had absolutely no attachment to his stuff. So for him, it wasn't a thing. For most of us, it is a thing. If you have ever said this subject, someone drops by, or said these words, someone drops by, and you say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, my house is so cluttered." That's not you, but we think subconsciously we identify with our houses. If you've said those words, you have energy strands in the stuff in your house. So I'm not saying these as universal. You don't have to have this pristine environment. I am saying if you have attachments, energy strands to your stuff is influencing you and affecting you. Incidentally, I am not pristine. If you came to my house, you'd go, "This woman teaches clutter clearing. Look at all of her stuff." I'm like a whirlwind. I will enter into a room, it'll look pretty good. When I get out the other end, it's like, what happened? So have you heard that expression, you teach what you need to learn? I'm teaching what I need to learn. I can't wait for this clutter clearing. Well, actually, we've already started because I am taking everything to the next level, taking everything down to the next level. So I'm excited about it. All right. So they don't make like this anymore. Oh my gosh, I am so guilty of that. Yeah, so many times I'm like, David will say, "Why are you keeping them?" I'm like, "Honey, they just don't make them like this anymore." And they don't make them like this anymore. But again, do I love it? Do I use it? Or am I keeping it because they don't make them like this anymore? And sometimes I just have to laugh at myself. And that's what I'm going to expect you to do too. Have a gentle amusement at yourself. Do not judge yourself. Don't go, "Oh my God, I'm so cluttered. I'm so clogged." Just like be your own fairy godmother. Just like, "Oh, honey, will you look at all your stuff? I just love you so much." Be your own fairy godmother. Have a gentle amusement and love and compassion while you're on this journey. Okay, why else? Okay, they don't make them the way they used to. Okay, it's perfectly good. Okay, do you know this one? But it's perfectly good. Do you love it? Well, no. Do you use it? Well, no, but it's perfectly good. Is it worth keeping that thing that's perfectly good, clogging your energy, or are you willing to let it go? Here's one that gets me. Now, when I was raised, my family really didn't have much money. We kind of squatted in different places. We moved once a year. We squatted in some abandoned army barracks. There were times when I can remember being hungry, so we didn't have a lot of money. So, and money was kind of a thing when growing up. In fact, I remember in high school, the teachers all got together and they pooled their money so I could buy some clothes. And my mother was so angry. So when I've spent a lot of money on something, there's this place of, even if it doesn't fit, even if I don't look good at it, but I paid a lot for it. Do you have that? But I paid a lot for it. And I have a hard time letting it go because of all my stuff about early childhood and money. But I'll look at those things. Okay, I don't wear it. It doesn't look good on me. It's out of style. Is it worth keeping space in my closet because I paid a lot for it? And sometimes, yeah, I paid a lot for it. It's staying there. but when my own fairy godmother comes in, "Oh, honey, you've got all you need. You don't need that." "Okay, I'll let it go." You have to have kind of conversations with yourself. So, and okay, how about nobody else will take care of it like I do? I mentioned that. Nobody will take care of it like I do. No one loves it like I do. Never mind, it has holes in it or it's broken, but nobody will love it like me. It's like we give personas to our stuff. So again, is it worth keeping it, clogging your energy? Or is it worth keeping it because you know you'll take care of better than anyone else? Chances are, once you let go of it, you won't think of it that much. Here's how you can tell. One of the things we're going to do in our clutter clarity is those things you can't, I can't let it go. I can't let it go. I'm going to suggest you put it in a box and you wrap it up and you put the date on it and you tape it. And you come up with a arbitrary time, like a year or 2 years or 3 years. And you write, if I haven't needed anything in this box by this date, I am taking this to, actually write it on the box. I'm taking it to the Goodwill. And if a year's gone by or 2 years, whatever your designated time is, and you have not needed anything in that box, take it and put it in the car, drive it away and give it away. Don't open it. Because the instant you open it, you start reattaching. Oh, I forgot this. Oh, this was so wonderful. And all of a sudden, you've reattached to it. If you haven't needed it, haven't used it, tape it up, get it out of your energy field, and then let it go. I hope I have inspired you about clutter clearing. When you have clutter, they've done a lot of research with people in clutter. They found that people who have a lot of clutter tend to be less creative. They have less success in their relationships, less success in their job. There's a lot of research out about the devastating effect of clutter. And especially right now, as we are in this time of a global reset, and I'm going to suggest a personal reset, I want to talk again about the power of intent, the power of your vision for the future. We have all been through a challenging time, and as I said before, like no other. And if there was any value in this time, it's to be willing to have those old patterns, those old limitations begin to dissolve, to break away, to let go. It's the time before the spring, the ice has to break. I used to live on a river called the Maumee River or near it. And in the winter, it would be all frozen. And in the spring, you'd hear these really loud noises. And what those loud noises were was the ice was beginning to break up. And you'd watch it, and people would bet on the day it was going to break. And so it's all the ice, and it's got cracks, and it's making noise. And then, sometimes within an hour, it all begins to flow. I'm looking at our clutter collectively like that together we are going to be breaking up old blockages, old barriers, old limitations. Some of these have come from early childhood, some have come from your ancestral line, some from past lives, some from the collective unconsciousness. But please, I urge you, take advantage of this time period in your life. Right now is the most powerful, most potent time to hold a vision of what can be, a vision for yourself, a vision for your family, a vision for our beautiful and needful planet. Before you even clear one thing, take a moment to sit down and be still and tune into the truth of your soul. The soul loves the truth, and there's a place inside of you that absolutely knows what destiny you desire. You know it in your heart, you know it not so much in your mind. Your mind's like, I'd like to make more this year, and I'd like to, promotion. Go deeper. Go to the realm of the soul. What do you yearn for? What do you desire? What is your vision, your true vision of what you would like for this coming year, for this next cycle of your life? And here's the secret. A lot of people say, yeah, write it all out, do your vision boards. The secret is find the feeling. What is the feeling that desired future will give you? And as you find and get absolute clarity on the feeling, it's so much easier to move in that direction. Maybe the feeling is adventure. You know what? This has been a really stagnant time in my life. My intent, my prayer, my desire is for adventure. How does adventure feel inside of you? Find the feeling. Maybe it's in your chest, maybe it's in your shoulders, maybe it's in your hands. Find the feeling and then create that feeling. Even though there's no adventure now in your life, as you can find and create the feeling, that sends a message out into the universe. that kind of intensity, focused feeling. And the universe here and will respond as you clutter clear. I'm clutter clearing to make the space, because what clutter clearing does is you are actually making the space for more in your life. So I'm making the space for more adventure. Feel how it feels to have that in your life, even though you're not on the adventure now, you're not on the cruise ship, the airplane, the alpine mountain now, but you know the feeling. You've heard that thing called buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse is people have this idea, when I buy that object, then I'm going to feel the certain way. They buy the object and they don't feel that way. They don't know the secret. The secret is find the feeling first. Create the feeling. You can create the feeling in your body and then step forward to make it a reality. So maybe the feeling you want is you want peace. Denise, I just want peace. I've had so much unpeace. Is that a word? Unpeace? I've had unpeace in my life. I'm ready for some peace. Find the feeling. And then as you clear with the intent, I am making space for peace in my life. I'm opening the space for peace. Everything you do, every object that you move out of your home, I am opening and creating space for peace. Maybe you want a relationship. How would it feel? I would feel so loved. I would feel supported. I would feel like I have someone to love and support. People forget that other part. They want to be loved and supported. They forget that they need to be able to do, if you want to be loved and support, be willing to give love and support, kind of like that. But what would that feel like? And then know that you are creating the space for that relationship. Of course, do the feng shui, make sure you have a lamp on either side of the bed, and, make sure you've kind of created space under the bed. You don't have a bunch of stuff under the bed. I mean, do your feng shui for the relationship, but hold the intent. I am creating space for this new relationship, for new love. Whatever it is you desire, get very clear on that. And later in our time, we're going to do a guided journey. On that inner journey, I'm going to ask you, while you're in that relaxed state, it's difficult sometimes to get clarity when we're in our mind, but when you go down into your heart, to get that clarity of, this is what I want, this is what I yearn for, this is what I desire. And you're also going to have the opportunity to go through your home. We're going to see what the energy really is in your home, which is kind of sometimes revealing. So you want to be very clear on your intent, and there's power in that. The other thing I'm going to suggest is this is a modern day ceremony. Treat it like a ceremony. So before your clutter clearing, maybe offer a prayer. Like, I'm not religious. You don't need to be religious. Offer a prayer of love to the creator within all things. Like, I don't even think there's a creator. To the spirit of love, whatever taps into that divinity within you, whatever words, whatever intent. I am opening my heart to divinity. I'm opening my heart to the creator. I'm opening my heart to love. And I call, maybe you align with angels. I'm opening my heart to those angelic realms. I'm opening my heart to you, God. Please, I ask for your support and love on this journey. Whatever your divine source is, take a moment before your clutter clearing to call on that, and know that everything you do will be magnified because of your intent, because of your prayer, because of your love. It's been so interesting to me to see homes that I've worked with where we go in, do the clutter clearing, do the feng shui, the space clearing. And what's so interesting over and over again, it's like that energy begins to radiate out from that home. And I've seen this so many times. The homes around it, they'll start to, they'll start to mow the lawns, they'll start to paint their houses, like neighborhood improvements occur. And I believe it's simply because of the energy that radiates out from that house. There is such power in your intent and your prayer. Maybe you've heard me talk about the fountain groups. And I share this over and over again because it shows the power of intent and the power of prayer. So many years ago in a small seaside town in England called Brighton, I don't know if you've ever heard of it or been there. It's a beautiful little town, but they were having a lot of challenges. Every summer, all the tourists would come seaside town, and people would get in fights, in the bars, and there'd be accidents and crime. And the people who lived there year round said, you know what, this is unacceptable. What can we do? And this group of people, they believed in the power of intent. They believed in the power of prayer. So in Brighton, there's a fountain, and people have been there said, yeah, I've seen that fountain. They decided for 1 year, for 1 minute, you remember I said it doesn't need to take time to get results. If your intent is you're going to get results in a short period of time, that can happen. So they decided for 1 minute a day for 1 year, exactly 12 noon, they would all send energy into the fountain with the idea that that energy would radiate out from the fountain to affect the town. They did this for 1 year. At the end of the year, they said, boy, it sure feels different, but is it just psychological, or does it really, have we made a difference? So they got the hospital reports from the previous years and compared it with that year. They got the crime reports from previous years, compared it with that year. They got the automobile accidents. They got all these statistics, and that 1 year, that one beautiful, precious year, it was so much better. And they thought, well, is this a fluke? So they began to share this technique with others. And over again, in other places where they did this, they found it made a difference. So and the reason I'm telling you this is when you begin to work with the energy of your home becomes like this. And I talk about a pebble dropped in a still pool. These waves of light and energy will radiate out from your home. Not only will the clutter clearing you do make a difference in your life, it will make a difference in your friends, your family, because of those energy connections. We're connected. And those people that you share frequencies across the planet. But those waves of energy will radiate out and make a difference. And trust me, we need you. We need people who are willing to make a stand. We need your grace, your nobility, your power, your passion. We really need it now. We need to, as you are doing this clutter clearing for yourself, hold the intent that everything you do is making a difference in the planet. We need it. We need you. And it doesn't need to take long. I know you don't have a lot of time. I mean, people are busy these days, but just holding the intent, holding the prayer, holding the focus that everything I do, no matter how long I spend, is making a difference. And it will make a difference. So in our time together, I wanted to do 2 inner journeys with you. I had mentioned one of the inner journeys I wanted to do is to begin to work on gaining clarity on what you really desire, what you truly desire, what your heart desires for the future. And part of that is once you get a vision, and we're going to do that inner journey to get clarity on that, is believe that it's possible. And sometimes the world won't always believe with you. And it is an act of power to just go inside and believe that your dreams can come true, that or something better. And I'm going to tell you a story. It doesn't put me in a good light, but it gives credence to this idea that even if the whole world doesn't agree with your dreams, to continue to believe it's possible, believe it can occur for you. Many years ago, I lived with my family and my husband, my daughter in Seattle. And my daughter had a good friend, and I got to know the friend's mother. They were both little girls. And the friend's mother was named Anne, and Anne called me. It was in November, and had been snowing, but it was Seattle. The snow, it's kind of wet, moist, and then after a day, it's like gray slush. So that's kind of what the snow was like. So she called me up, said, come over for tea, and I did. And then all of a sudden she goes, I've got this great idea. Let's make a snow dragon. And I'm like, it's damp, it's cold, there's not really any snow. She goes, no, I know where there's some snow. Let's make a snow dragon. So we go outside and just half a block from her house, there was kind of an incline and down to a really busy road. And sure enough, there was some bits of snow on this. She goes, look, all we have to do, we'll get the top, we'll roll it down all the way down to the bottom, and then we'll have enough snow to make a snow dragon. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, how is she going to do this? There's hardly any snow here, and it's all wet and dirty. And so we start little, as you do, and we start rolling. Now, all she can see is a snow dragon, and she's so excited. Oh my gosh, this is going to be the best snow dragon ever. Now, all I can see, this is where there's lots of houses, and this is the one place there's no house, but it's where all the dogs pee and poo. So all she sees is a snow dragon. All I see is pee and poo. And, and I'm like, oh God. And she's like, snow dragon, snow dragon. So we get these balls to the bottom, and they were kind of bigger. And she's so excited. And I'm like, I cannot believe I just spit. And it's wet. So it's not like nice, pristine, frozen poop. It's soft poop. So all I see is pee and poop, and all she sees is snow dragon. And it's starting to get dark and it's getting cold. And she's not going to stop. I go, oh, I got to go. She goes, Denise, call the newspapers, call the television stations. And I'm like, My daughter says when I go, that's my way of saying no and being nice. Don't forget, call the newspapers, call the television, tell them about the snow dragon. Now, all she has at this point where she wants me to call the television and the newspapers is she's got 3 balls of poop and pee. That's all I can see it. And she's like, don't forget. So next morning, there's a thump on the door, and I open the door, and there's our newspaper. And it's the biggest, the Seattle Intelligencer. It's the big Seattle newspaper. And I open up the newspaper, and on the front page, not inside, not little, on the front page is a picture of my friend with her arm around a snow dragon. What had happened was a photographer was driving home. It was dark. She was under the streetlight. It's so dark, you can't see that it's yellow-brown snow. And she had made a snow dragon. She had her arm around it. It was on the front page of the newspaper. Now, she thought I'd called the newspaper. I didn't. I wasn't going to call up and say, my friend has a big pile of pee and poop. but she believed. So we're going to do an exercise now for you to get clear on your future. Even if people say, well, that can't happen for you, remember the snow dragon. I never forget the snow dragon. I know the power of belief. Believe in your dreams. Believe in the dreams of others. The more you support the success of others, the more you're going to succeed. So let's jump in. Let's do an inner exercise for you to get clear on why are you doing the clutter clearing? What are you going to get for it? And from it, and remember the snow dragon. So here we go. Take a breath. And exhale. And inhale. And with every breath you take, and every sound you hear, you find a wonderful sense of relaxation filling you. So very, very relaxed. So very, very relaxed. You are safe. You are safe. As you continue to relax and let go, a wonderful feeling of safety fills you. All is well. No matter what's occurring in your life, and no matter what has occurred in your life, within you is a sweet and sacred space. Within you is the dwelling place of your soul. Within you is a place of deep, profound truth and peace. It is this place now that you are sinking into. You're not surrendering to something outside of yourself. You're surrendering to spirit within. In the days ahead, you're going to be clearing clutter from your life, from your thoughts, from your heart. In this moment, as you begin more and more to be aware of that inner truth within, what results do you desire in your life? What do you truly yearn for? The voice of your soul is speaking to you. What do you really want? What do you yearn for? Sometimes the soul speaks to us symbolically. Sometimes it's as if you can hear a whisper in your ear. or a thought that seems to drift through your mind the way clouds drift and float on a warm summer afternoon. If you felt a deep and profound satisfaction with your life, what would it look like? What would it feel like? The clearer your vision of that which you desire, of the results you desire, the easier it is to get there. Take yourself now 1 year in the future. It's now 1 year. It's January. What a year it's been. You're looking back. A year ago, January, we were just coming out of so much turmoil. But at the same time, so much unfolded, so much beauty and grace and joy and love. You're looking back at the last 12 months. It started with that clutter clearing. You're looking back. You're remembering. Remember the clutter that you cleared. Remember the dream that you had for your future. And you can feel that your future, in accordance with your highest good, has come to fruition. Feel how good that feels. The most remarkable year, the most healing, most profound year of your life. And now, believe. Believe that this or something better, in accordance with highest good, can come for you. Believe. Remember the snow dragon. Believe that this or something better. And it started with the clutter clearing. It started releasing and letting go of those things that did not serve and support you. And you can go ahead and bring yourself back now. That was excellent, absolutely excellent. So you're getting the vision now of the results you want, and that's going to make your clutter clearing that much more potent and powerful. And now I want to do a second journey with you. And this is an inner journey to go into your home. So we're going to see what's going on. What's that energy really like? There might be some places that surprise you, some places where you're uplifted, you had no idea, some places where you get depleted, you had no idea. So this is going to be a great journey. So just shake it up a bit. I'm going to shake it up a bit too. Take a breath, get your spine straight. Take a very deep breath. Here we go. Breathing in and exhaling. And again, inhalation and exhalation. With every breath you take and every sound you hear, you find a wonderful sense of relaxation just rolling through your entire body. Warm wave after warm wave of relaxation. Your shoulders are relaxing. The muscles in your forehead are relaxing. Feels so good. You are safe. Letting go. You're entering into that place that you enter into just before sleep, conscious and aware of all within you and around you, and at the same time, so very, very relaxed. Travel now in your mind's eye, and in your imagination, you're just outside the front door of your home. Visualize, sense, imagine. There's the door, and you're standing in front of the door. reach out now in your imagination and put your hand on the doorknob. Do you know when you shake the hand of a person, you get an instant feeling about that person? In this instant, you can feel the overall energy of this home. Does it feel welcoming? Does it feel timid, strong? What's that instant feeling you get? It's like shaking someone's hand as you hold the doorknob. That's good. In many ancient cultures, there's an understanding that every home has a home spirit, a home guardian. In just a moment, when you open the door, be aware of the home guardian of your home. Use your imagination. There's great majesty and truth in that which is in your imagination. I'm going to count to 3. When I get to 3, the door will open. You'll use your imagination to imagine a home guardian, a home spirit. Are you ready? 1, 2, and 3. The door opens. What's this? If you knew what your home guardian looked like, what would it be? Does it feel more male, more female? Maybe it's an animal or a light or simply a feeling. Tall, short, middle-aged. Maybe there's a costume. Maybe it's just a sense or a feeling. The home guardian. Many cultures believe in the home guardian so much that they create altars within the home dedicated to the spirit of the home. Take just a moment to listen. Is there anything your home guardian wants you to know about the energy in your home? Now be quiet while you listen. That's good. And now, as you begin to explore the energy within your home, you might invite your home guardian to come with you, or you can simply leave your home guardian at the front door, the threshold, the entrance point between inner and outer worlds. This is the power of your front door. So going room by room, you might ask yourself, does this object take my energy up, take it down, or is it neutral? You might notice energy as colors or light or bright or dark. Different people have different ways of sensing energy. You can open drawers if you want, and closets. I'm going to be quiet, but do know as you go room to room, your intuition is expanding. Your inner wisdom is expanding. Your inner knowing is expanding. You know the truth of the energy in your homes. You may ask yourself, is this time for me to let you go? Sometimes objects will even talk to you. No, don't let me go. Or, yeah, I'm ready. So you've got some time now. Explore your home. Explore the objects in your home. You can go ahead and do this now. Keep going. You're doing well. Room by room. What's there? What's your sense of it? Are there some things that's time to release? Keep going. You're doing well. Allow every object in your home a voice. As you examine each object, you may even want to put your hand on it or hold it in your hands and notice, does your energy go up? Does it go down? Or is it neutral? Some objects have memories associated with them. You may notice some of those memories. Do those memories make you feel good or not? Some objects have what's called residual energy or predecessor energy. It's a more subtle kind of energy. The people who owned the object before, emotions that were felt around that object that the object absorbed. We can be influenced by this predecessor energy and this residual energy. We're not often aware of it, except in those moments when we move into stillness, as we are now. And as you explore your home, what area of your home benefits your energy the most? Where do you feel the best? And is there any place in your home that seems a little depleting? Just noticing. The soul loves the truth. The first step is being aware of what that truth is. That's excellent. And now, going back to the threshold, your front door, meeting the guardian, the home spirit there, and call blessings into your home. You might imagine light cascading down from the heavens, filling every square inch, square centimeter of your home, and filling the space between the atoms and the molecules, so that your home is radiating with light, radiating with energy, so that every time you step across that threshold, your energy becomes lighter and brighter. More and more, your home a force for good. More and more, your home a sanctuary, a healing sanctuary, where you can step into even more joy, clarity, bliss, and a deeper, profound connection to spirit. So that more and more, you are at home with yourself, at home on your planet, and at home in the universe. So be it, and so it is. I have absolutely loved my time with you. I am so excited about the power and the potential of what we are going to co-create together. I'm looking for miracles. Do you remember I said this is going to be our time of miracles? I'm looking to hear about your miracles. You have my support and my love. And, I believe in you. I believe in your dreams. I believe in your future. I believe in our collective future. with all my heart. Blessings and love from my heart to yours. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.